Coach, how important was it to get back on the winning foot there after suffering a setback at Omaha?
Well, certainly we were not very pleased with our effort in the second game at Omaha, not just from the hockey perspective, but also from the mentality where we played a tremendous first period, the second game, and then went out in the second and did not play like a team that I think we've come to appreciate here the last number of weeks with, focus and commitment. And we took some foolish penalties, and Omaha played well, and a hockey game that we were in a position to win important points, we lost it. So it was important for us to come back home, play against an RPI team, and we're right in the middle of the NCHC schedule, so you don't normally have non-conference games, so you're somewhat worried. And of course, as a coach, you're paid to worry all the time. But how would our team approach the games against RPI? And I think the big thing is we approached them with a great deal of respect. They had won 7 of their previous 9 games, had beaten some top teams, and we were forewarned about that and played extremely hard. Now, on Friday night, our defensive game was not at the level we would have liked to have had, and we gave up 4 goals, but we were skating. We were pressuring the puck. We were hounding them and generated 8 goals, and that doesn't normally happen, but we did it because we were working. And then Saturday night, we knew we had to be better defensively, and we were, because RPI came out and played a real solid game. We're much better. Their goaltending was better, but we found a way to continue to grind. We did not give up a scoring chance against in the third period, and that's tough to do in the game of hockey, but we had the puck so much that they were not getting any offensive opportunities. So certainly important to win those non-conference games, to continue to win here at Lawson, which is going to be a key thing as we go down the stretch here as well.
As you go to Miami to face a new Miami team with a new head coach, but obviously somebody the Broncos are very familiar with, given the great battles that we've had with Coach Bergeron's coached Bowling Green teams over the last couple of years. Yeah,
Chris Bergeron did a tremendous job as the Bowling Green head coach and turned that program around and made them a force not only in the WCHA but nationally as well, and beat us a couple of times last year. And again, this year now we get to see him playing for or coaching with Miami. He's got that program, I believe, going in the right direction. When we watch video on them, they play very much like his Bowling Green teams played. They compete hard physically. They're on you. They're pressuring the puck. And he's going to get that program going in the right direction, no question about it. Enrico Blasi did an unbelievable job at Miami. Now they've moved on to Chris, and a former alum, former assistant coach that really identifies with the program.
They haven't had the results, though, as you know. When you're facing a team that's down like that, normally maybe you tell your team that you can't overlook them, but when this game's a rivalry, do you even need to say that?
Yeah, no, I think that's a key word. I think the fact that this is the team that came over from the old CCHA with us, Miami. We've had nothing but great games against them. And, there's some years where one team is up and winning more than the other team, but every time you play against them in a particular season, it's a battle in every game. And we're expecting much the same this weekend as well. I mean, to be honest with you, we could be playing Miami or North Dakota or Boston University this weekend. I mean, we're looking for wins, and we know it's going to be a real battle to go in there and play well, and we'll be prepared for it.
Your offense has been so impressively balanced over the last couple of weeks. As a head coach, how much does that make you smile?
Well, I think there's no question. We're a bit of a tough matchup for teams now when you're looking at our team. Like, which unit do you put your top checking line against? Which team do you put which unit do you put your top offensive line against? So I think, to me, we've created some matchup problems for other teams, and that's because we're balanced. We've got offense in all 4 of our lines, to be quite honest with you. And, we couldn't find offense in one line for most of the early part of the season. And, being healthy certainly makes a big difference. We've got people back in the positions we thought they'd be in at the start of the year, and guys are performing. But it's not just our fact that we're scoring goals, is our work ethic is high right now. We're hounding pucks. We're putting pressure on the other team. And, you back off that, and bad things will happen to you. So right now, it's just like whoever we're playing this weekend, find a way to win.
Western Michigan is a program that doesn't really fly under the radar, but if you were at all, that is gone, the way you guys have played 7 of 8 overall, 6 in a row at home. Do you feel like you're playing your best hockey as a team right now?
Well, I think certainly we played some real good games. I mean, the second game in Omaha is still in the pit of my stomach and it's probably going to be there for a while yet. But we saw how you can get off the rail as well, too, and create problems for yourself. So we have to stick to what we're doing. We have to play a consistent team game. We need to make sure that every player realizes how much emotional control is important for us, and we got to stay out of the box and be smart with our game and compete. And I think the bottom line is, I think I heard Drew Orad in his interview say that, can't get too high and can't get too low. We've got to stay consistent. Something happens in a game that doesn't go your way, you've got to get a hold of that, dig in, the old trench warfare mentality where they're coming on, you got to dig in and then you got to push back. And we've been doing that. So we're going to need Miami's going to get it going at times this weekend. We need to dig in and dig that trench and then go from there and push back on them. So expecting a real battle.
Speaking of Drew, Coach, you have the 200-foot placard around this building, and how has he developed into that kind of player over the last 2 years? Well,
first and foremost, Drew Orad is just a tremendous young man in all aspects, whether it's academically, socially, being a good teammate, being a good Christian. I mean, he's just a quality person, and we're excited to have him in our program. He played for a great coach, Paul Dick, in the Manitoba Junior Hockey League in Steinbach, and Coach Shayak and I have a good relationship with Coach Dick, and he kept telling us about this young guy, and we went up and watched him, met him, really enjoyed him, got to meet his family, and we're certainly pleased that he decided to become a Bronco, and he's continuing to get better. I think last year, when you come in sometimes you don't realize how strong and so on, well-conditioned the players are. So Drew had to go through a tough summer in his freshman year, and then, he added some weight this summer here. Got into the year, was off to a great start, suffered the shoulder injury, was out for a while, but he's back in there now, finding his groove. His conditioning's back up to the level that it was at the start of the year. And we're excited for him and his future here as a Bronco.
He really took a chance going out to Steinbach because he's an Ontario kid, and he was kind of like his last chance to make an impression.
Well, it's never a risk or a chance when you go out to Manitoba. I mean, that's the golden spot for hockey in the world, and certainly being from Manitoba myself, went to a great coach. That's the bottom line. Is what Paul Dick does in Steinbach is tremendous, and there was a number of great coaches in the Manitoba Junior Hockey League, Blake Spiller and Portage, Doug Headley and Doff, and we know all those guys, and obviously we've had some quality players come from that league, and we got another good one with Drew there.
Drew, how important was it to kind of get back to winning right away after suffering that setback at Omaha?
Yeah, I think it was important. We were on a great run there, obviously, had strung together a bunch of good wins, and we're flying high, then kind of let one slip away from us there in Omaha. So to quickly get back on track and out of conference play as well, because those games are very important. I think it was really important to just kind of get back on track and definitely get our momentum going in a positive way.
Started off the season very hot, kind of matching your freshman point total pretty quickly into the season. Then you suffer your injury. What did you do to kind of stay positive while you were recuperating?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of keeping a level head. I mean, as you mentioned, things kind of went pretty well off the start, and we're bouncing the right way. But I think when obviously the injury happened, I don't like to blame things like injuries. I think I just kind of let my game get away from me a little bit there, but I think just staying positive, staying level-headed, and not worrying too much about the production, but just focusing on doing things the right way and playing good hockey was important for me. And then this weekend was nice to kind of see some rewards from that.
Feel good to get your first goal since November 2nd?
Yeah, it had been a bit. So it's always nice just kind of seeing the puck go in the back of the net there for you. But yeah, I mean, it was a good effort by the whole team, and we got some very important points for us there this weekend. So
you mentioned the whole team there, and that's kind of where I want to go. You look at the way you guys are scoring goals; it is balanced. Everybody seems to be getting in on the action. How much confidence does that give you as a group?
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, every time you got all four lines going and the power play unit clicking the way it is, there's a lot of confidence that strings from that. And I think knowing every time there's a line on the ice, no matter what line it is, we got a chance to score. And they're all coming the right way. I mean, we're forechecking. I think this weekend was the hardest and the most successful. We forechecked all year, and to get the results coming from that, I think was huge for us.
Miami is a wounded dog right now. How do you find that balance of knowing that you don't want to overlook them, but also knowing that it's a series that you guys can capitalize on?
Yeah, I don't think you can ever overlook a team like Miami, especially with the rivalry that we have with them. We know no matter who they got going for them, that they're gonna be a tough test. They work hard, and like I said, it's a big rivalry. We just got to stick to what we do. I said earlier, our forecheck was, I think, the strongest it's been all year last weekend, and I think we got to carry that into this weekend because ultimately that's going to be how we're going to get success and see some pucks go in the back of the net.
Pretty much a sprint to the finish from here. Do you guys feel like you're playing your best hockey as a group right now?
Yeah, I think we're just trying to keep a level head, not get too high and not get too low. I think we've seen some success in the last little bit, and we're seeing the puck go in the back of the net. We just know how important these last couple of games are going into the end of the season here. Every point's huge, and we just got to focus on playing our game and taking it one game at a time.
Played quite a bit on the penalty kill as a freshman. Now you're getting both penalty kill and power play minutes this year. How does it feel to get that kind of responsibility and turn into a really good two-way forward?
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, I've always kind of patterned myself as a two-way guy, so to be able to get some time at both ends, I think is good for my rhythm. And ultimately, I just want to help the team as much as I can in every aspect that I can. It's nice to be trusted on the PK as well as the power play, and just as long as we're getting wins, that's good.